Welcome to the Living Centred podcast, a podcast all about learning together how to live lives which are centred on Jesus. Everyone lives centred on something. Our goal is to learn together how every area of our lives, everything about who we are and how we live, can be increasingly oriented around Jesus and transformed by Jesus. He invites us to a rich and satisfying life, where the good news that he truly is enough changes everything about how we relate to God, ourselves, and the world. In each episode, a different person shares about what it's looking like for them to seek to centre their life on Jesus right now. As we hear their stories, we get to learn together and to encourage one another in what it means for Jesus to be at the centre of our lives. This is a journey we are all invited to, and a conversation we all get to be a part of. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, my name's Adrian, and it is so good to welcome you to this week's episode of the Living Centred podcast. And it's my privilege to introduce today Vicky, who's going to be sharing. Vicky, it is very good to see you.
Hello, good to see you too.
Well, to ease you in, as I do with everyone every week, I wonder if you could just start by sharing something about who you are and what your life looks like at this point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Vicky. I am a Christian.
Yeah.
I love Jesus. I am married to Jamie, who also is around the church.
Yeah.
A lot. People know him. I'm a daughter, a sister, a friend. I am also a psychotherapist. So that's my day job, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is really wonderful. So come across a lot of people with that job. I also live with a chronic illness.
Yeah.
Have done for a very, very long time, something I was born with. So that's part of my life and identity in some ways.
Yeah.
I probably would describe myself as very creative. So anything crafty, really. I'm currently into cross stitch, which feels quite old school, but
yeah,
I'm actually really enjoying it. Both kind of very calm, but
yeah.
you know, something that you can produce at the end, which is good. Got into reading books again, had a bit of a hiatus while studying. So that's lovely. I enjoy lots and lots of music, but pretty much anything with a tasty bass and drum line.
Can't go wrong with that.
No. And I am a dog lover.
Music to my ears. That is such a beautiful window in, Vicky, to just the richness of your life. I guess then we have to jump straight to the big question, which is then within the beauty and wonder of all that makes up your life, what does living centered on Jesus look like for you right now?
When thinking about this question, 3 things sprung to mind. The first one for me was pace of life. So for the last 4.5 years, I've been studying and training to be a psychotherapist. Yeah. And the pace of that was incredible. It was very, very difficult to maintain anything other than a 4.5 year sprint. It's been really important, and I'm really kind of trying to focus on like looking at pace of life, bringing it back down, creating some rhythms and routines. One of the things that, whilst that was being prioritized, that kind of felt like left my life slightly was people. And so actually reprioritizing people into my time. Yeah. Because I am a very much people person.
Definitely.
A lot of people moved away over and around COVID as well. So I found myself kind of losing people that I would have otherwise been in quite a lot of contact with. And rejoining a small group, because with the training and pairing that with my kind of illness, it was having to prioritize how I used my time and what my time went on. So pace of life feels like the main thing, really. And a lot of that currently is, you know, and has been accommodating my condition, which is really unpredictable. Needs different things at different times. So just fitting that in with the ebb and flow of life and building some good things back in. The second thing is finding joy. Finding joy in the big and the small things, I think. So I've just really wanted to be, really, really just actually very grateful just for all the things in my life, I think. It's challenging to do the training that I've done. And it requires a lot from you, and there's a lot that you have to give to get to the end of that process. And I think, you know, there's so many times where I've across that process found myself being really stretched or finding it hard, but actually there's been really joy all the way through that, joy currently. So just really noticing and being thankful for just like God's blessings, really small things, as well as the big things that feel hard to miss.
No, amazing.
Just noticing where he's present, I think, because sometimes I think I find it really easy to skip God and create my own conclusions. But actually, when you take a step back and you refocus on God, he's very much present in everything. So I think just that kind of readjusting and really seeing the joy.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, being curious and excited about God. So I think now there's a bit more space. I am really loving being able to spend more time listening to podcasts, reading.
Yeah.
I'm just really curious to learn more about God. I want to kind of challenge my ideas and understanding of God. And, as you get older, that kind of evolves anyway. And just really trying to kind of cultivate a bit of a sense of excitement. I feel like everywhere God is, there is adventure to be had and there's a lot to be kind of taken in, really. So I think those things would maybe sum up what living centered on Jesus looks like right now, I think.
It's just really good. It's like this deep breath in as you were sharing all of that. I was just like, wow, it's so good. One is, firstly, actually just say huge congratulations on making it through 4.5 years, getting the qualification. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
I think out of that then to say, what does living centered look like? Well, it's about pace of life and making some adjustments of the pace has been slightly out of kilter. And I know I want it to be back how I feel like it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And I love that. And saying, and that's part of following Jesus, is just getting the pace to be right.
Definitely.
In it, loving that thing of just, and finding joy in the big and small. And just recognizing and noticing, like, where's God bringing blessing in this? Where can I find you present in this and not miss you? It's just really good. Yeah,
completely.
And then love it, that last thing of just being curious and excited about God. I think, isn't that the journey? Always more to discover.
Yeah, it's just a life of learning, isn't it? And actually being excited about something, to learn about something we're interested in. And I just think, where there has been squeezed space before, actually it's really nice to kind of luxuriate in the amount of time to be curious about God and learn more about him and deepen that. It's relational, isn't it? It's, spending more time learning about God, being with God, noticing him. And I think, it's great to be curious about stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So.
Yeah, amazing. And I guess then it leads us then to say, well, then what's helping you?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's helping you do that?
So, again, I've tried to keep these 3 little subheadings. So the first one for me in terms of pacing, I guess, was trying to just prioritize and put God first. And I guess a few things that feel like they help with that. So people before things. And things not just meaning kind of, objects, but the last half a decade, I've had to really focus on putting work first, putting different hoops I needed to jump through first. And actually people have had to sometimes come second to that, which really doesn't sit well with me because I'd rather be spending time with people.
Yeah.
And actually, I think ultimately that feels like where I sit as a person, people first all the time. And it's nice to maybe kind of readjust back to that. It was a big realization, I think. And I knew already, but, the culture and the way the world works, their priorities are not the same as God's priorities.
Yeah.
Pace doesn't look the same as what God suggests our pace should be. Yeah. And within that, I think if we're following what culture suggests is the right pace for us or the kind of right priority, then I think we miss a lot. We miss people, we miss opportunities, we miss just real richness. So really trying to prioritize people. So keeping a good work-life balance is important. Just really trying to reconnect with different people, just trying to spend time with people. I think that feels really important, just re-digging down into relationships, trying to build up that network again. As a few people that I was connected to left, so actually it did feel quite sparse at points. And just trying to get to know people and be quite excited about that, really. Small group for me, again, small group is something that for the last few years hasn't really been present. It just I couldn't make it fit. By that time on an evening, I was just exhausted. So just really kind of trying to grow some roots in a new small group, and that's really good.
That's great.
And I think then regular church, coming on a Sunday. So one of the things that I struggle with my condition is night times are often very difficult.
Yeah.
My joints dislocate as part of my condition. I get a lot of that overnight. So getting up for church on a Sunday morning can often be really challenging.
Yeah.
And then added to that, I was already tired and looking in different directions with different kind of things that needed to be done. So actually trying to bring all of that back together and make that a bit more cohesive, I think, for just the pace of things. And those things helping me kind of prioritize what the pace should look like and what's important, what the ebb and flow of it, I guess.
Really good.
The next thing I'd say is little and often prayers. And Jamie calls these arrow prayers.
Yeah.
It feels really important to me. So this is something I used to do a really long time ago, but when I'm driving to work or from work, just noticing the things and just being really grateful for them. Like I see a parent and a child walking down and the child is, skipping along the road or, doing something that's just really, really wonderful. And actually, I think that brings me joy. I think that would bring God joy. Yeah. Somebody says thank you when they drive past and you let them go. And I think, oh, great, amazing. Yeah, just trying to do kind of little and often prayers in the moment. So actually across the day, leading with a kind of a heart of gratitude, I think, and trying to notice the small things, being present in my day, not letting them pass me by, really.
Yeah.
And very mundane things also, doesn't have to be the big celebratory things. I think it's just all of those things. So little and often prayers, being grateful for people, those people I know and those people I don't. So actually, I think it can be really easy when you're busy or tired to slip into this place of, I know for me, I can get quite frustrated with other people or, slip into this very human way of being. And it's not very open-hearted or gracious. So, there's always something to be grateful for about everybody I encounter.
Amazing.
So trying to kind of lead with that perspective too. And then in terms of learning about God and just being curious and excited about him, a big thing I think is trying to leave shame behind as an idea.
Wow.
Coming to become a Christian at 19, so a while ago now, but it feels almost like, there's been occasions where it feels like I've not known what I should be doing, or like there's some sort of secret blueprint I just haven't quite figured out yet. And I know for me and the way I work that I can internalize that quite quickly, or assume I've picked something up from somebody and, the way they've said something can sometimes cut deeply for me. And I think actually, just taking away the shame of, I'm here, I'm trying, I'm turning up, I want to know God. That's great.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, it is exciting. And there's there is not a blueprint.
No,
God has made us all uniquely, and that's just wonderful. So that's the biggest thing. And then within that, podcasts. Really, really enjoying John Mark Comer. I think the way he kind of speaks really connects with my brain. The Bible Project is fantastic. Worship music. And as mentioned, I love anything with a tasty bass and drum line. So I really love gospel music.
Yeah.
And kind of worshiping in general, I think it's really helpful. And then small group, just really trying to become knitted into that and learning from other people, learning about all the things that we're looking at in small group and the kind of small group study. Yeah, so I think those are the things I'd say.
It's really good, Vicky. What I love about it is they're quite big statements of, what it means is I'm looking at my pacing. I want to live more in joy. I want to learn and be inquisitive. And you can be thinking, well, what does that look like then? And you earth it. And I love it of just, what gets me is there's an intentionality in it of, pacing means I want to prioritize God how you prioritize. And just then, even that just simple thing, people over things.
Yeah.
And that then you've said, and then I'm going to build in some blocks that are going to help me. So I really want to invest in people. So I'm going to make time to spend with people. I also going to invest in gathering with others within the church community. So small group becomes more of a priority at this season.
Yeah.
where I can do that a bit more, of Sundays, of actually my energy's slightly different now. And so actually, I want to try and prioritize how I can be around.
Yes.
And that's just going to take time and energy and grace, and kind of hitting into that third part of learning. Totally. I don't need to be ashamed at this moment. God, do you understand me?
Yeah.
This is how it looks. And then I love in terms of then joy. How do I live more in joy in the big and the small? Oh, yeah, it's just being consciously present, and just those prayers of thankfulness over small moments that then allow for the big moments. As I realize, God, you're way more at work. Like, it's just beautiful. And then last thing you say, like learning. Yep, it's the learning through podcasts and different ones. And we'll put a link in terms of the John Marcoma podcast. They're brilliant. Bible Short Project, always get us a bit of a shout out.
So good.
I love it. And then I love in terms of you just saying, oh yeah, and small groups there as well.
Yeah.
As it's a place where I'm seeking to grow with others.
Yeah, and you choose your small group for a variety of reasons, and it works for us because of the location and the timing. Yeah. But actually, it wouldn't necessarily be a group of people that I would normally connect with.
Sure.
There's people of different ages, their family structures look different than mine, and actually there's such wisdom to be gleaned from all of them, because they all come from a different place than I do. So there's just something really rich about, these wouldn't necessarily be people I'd encounter or that are living the same type of life or moment of life or season that I'm in right now. I think it's
that's
priceless,
it, isn't it? I always think
great.
it is like the following of Jesus connects me with a whole lot of people in any other stream of life I wouldn't be.
Totally.
And it's just beautiful, brilliant, amazing, challenging, but
very
worth it.
But I think rich. Yeah, really rich.
Really is. I guess that then brings us on to the next question, which is, within all of that wonder of what's helping you, what are you learning then about who God is as Father, Son, and Spirit at the moment?
This might be the shortest of my answers.
Totally fine.
But God is really good.
Oh, yes.
He's just really good. And I don't have much more to add to that. God is patient.
Wow.
Yeah, he's patient as we figure out our way through life, as we figure out, how to keep realigning to him when we go off in a different direction. He's just so patient. He's relational. Like, he wants to be connected to us. He wants to know us. Yeah. He wants us to know him. And he's fun. I think he is the epitome of joy. He's I imagine, this might not be very theologically correct, but I imagine God just being like a really fun, humorous, loving, vivacious character, like this complex 3D beautiful colorful character, and he's got all of those elements. And I think fun is something that I am discovering about God that maybe hasn't been as present in past years. So I think God is good, he's patient, he's relational, and he's fun.
That's really good.
Yeah,
really good. I love it. Of just because in one sense it's like that statement of what am I discovering? Oh yeah, God's good. All right, what does that mean? And then you kind of outline it and say, well, what's his patience? And how I've understood that, of how patient he is with me. Yeah. And it's just relating. That he really wants to know me and be known.
Yeah, completely.
And then I love that aspect of, part of his goodness, he's fun. Like, he's fun. There's something to be enjoyed with him and in him and through him. It's really good. I get, as always, I get to this point. I always want to ask more and more questions, but I know I've limited it. And it's the big one really, but it's, but how are you changing? If we were to have met you like 3, 6, 12 months ago, how would Vicky then look different to Vicky today? Yeah, so I think 2 things popped into my mind, and I, as lots of other people have wisely done, asked my spouse. So I sort of thought, I've come up with a couple of things myself, but I'm actually really curious to see what Jamie's experience has been on reflection. And one of the things that I put was, I think, feeling less burnt out and actually trying to match my chronic illness and the requirements of a course that don't make space for that. Yeah. A round peg in a square hole was exhausting. Yeah. And actually getting to the end of that, just being able to do the job, like loving the job. Amazing.
that breath in that you talked about at the beginning, it really feels like that. So I feel that was my reflection of just, less burnt out, less running on the edge of fumes of energy. Just maybe kind of building up some reserves. And I think Jamie said similar, that pace is the thing that came to mind for him.
Wow.
So not about the quantity of things, but more the motivation or not for doing things or not doing things.
Yeah.
And that, I seem to be more relaxed and less hurried, which is nice to hear, I guess. And so that's something he's noticed an evolution in, which I'm really pleased, because that was something I was trying to be really intentional with. I think the last thing then that came to my mind was just trying to be gentler with myself. And I think it kind of feels a bit of a holistic, all the parts that I've spoken about feel quite holistic, being curious and finding joy and learning, and God being fun. And actually you could flip that on its head, and actually we see God as this heavy, maybe kind of enforcer of rules, and there's a particular way you have to do things. And if I take that approach with myself, I'm not gentle with myself at all. Whereas if I flip it back to seeing God in that colour, then there's much more space for me to be kind to myself. Like I would give that to other people, that kindness and gentleness, without questioning it. So I think I am learning to be more gentle with myself.
Wow. It's really good. I love it, of both that setting out of what does living centered on Jesus look like now, and your first thing, it feels like it's pace. Jamie's reflection, how are you changing? Oh, it's pace. Isn't that amazing?
Definitely.
And then I'm more relaxed, and I love it of just, there's been a thing I was fighting within something that was causing me to live a way that I'm not designed to live.
Absolutely.
And rather than that crush me, what it's caused, it seems to me, is your reflection on it, is it's caused me to think, oh no, I'm not that. Therefore, the invitation, God, is, as you are gentle with me, I therefore can live the same way.
Completely.
And as I offer that to anyone else, I need to live with that for myself. Really beautiful, really beautiful. As always, get to this point, I'm like, how can my heart not be full with joy? I
mean, and I saw that bingo card this morning, and I wondered whether I should weave some of those in so I could get a full house, Adrian. I'm waiting for you to say the buzzwords.
There are many buzzwords in there. On purpose, I'm not going to say them all. It just does fill my heart with joy, because as I hear what Jesus is doing, how can you not have that response? It's just in it. And if you did see the bingo cards, a bit of April Fool's, it was there. And yes, I could say there's so many other questions I want to ask, but I want to be disciplined and stay on task. I could quote Matthew 11:28-30. There are loads of them. I know what I do. I'm okay with that. But in it, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
It's been so good. I think out of the wonder and beauty of all the different elements that you've shared, I want to pick up on joy, and just thinking, I want to find more and more of the joy of God in the small and the big, which means that over the coming week, I just want to pray those prayers of just what I notice. Thank you, God. Thank you for the beauty of this. Thank you for allowing me to see this. Thank you for allowing me to be the answer here. Whatever it is, of just the joy and gratitude of what God's doing. I think that's going to do me good. How about you, my listening friends? What are you going to be considering over this coming week out of the richness of all that Vicky has shared with us? Lastly, I just want to thank you so much for listening. And I want to finish just by praying for each and every one of us. And I pray we would know more of the wonder of living centered on Jesus this coming week. Amen.
Amen.
Hi, it's Rich here. I'm part of the team who helped produce the podcast. Just to let you know, there won't be a new episode next week as the team takes a break for the holidays. Hope you have a great Easter, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of the Living Centred podcast. Living Centred is produced by the team at Oasis Church in Birmingham, UK, and you can find out more and get in touch with the team via theoasischurch.com.